What's up, guys? I'm going to talk about how I manage time. It's going to be a quick video, okay? The first step that I do is I ignore the little distractions, like my phone, the game system that I have in the living room, like right over there, or sometimes my friends that want to tell me, let's go out tonight. If I get distracted the first time, I know the other times I'm going to get distracted is going to come in real quick. And the second thing that I follow is go for the easier tasks. Anything that's easy that could get done quick will be real easy. Like, you don't be looking at this math subject or these couple math questions and say, I'll get those done later. No, do them now. Okay? And last but not least, break down your task into little segments. It'll be a lot easier. I know for myself, it'll be a lot easier if I take things little by little, because taking them by little, eventually you will get it done.
Hi, I'm going to be discussing how I manage my time. And one of the main thing I do is I have to put everything in categories, and I make lists of like different things that are more important than others. And I make sure to realize what obviously has to go first, like education, before going out with my friends or having a good time. I also have to manage my time because I work and I have school, so I have to make sure that everything doesn't clash. So what I do is I mostly make sure I get most of my schoolwork during the gaps I have between my classes, so that I don't have to do it during work, or I'm not stressing about it doing it at home, because I usually work nights, so it's a little bit stressful. But and then I manage my time by putting different in categories of my friends, making sure I have time for them, but making sure that I still get everything done that I need to. So that's how I manage my time.
Alright, what's up, class? Today I'm going to talk about time management. A good way to set up time management is knowing what's your priorities. Starting with what is your top priorities and what is much lower to you. What will help you is setting up a planner, setting up a type of schedule that help you go day by day and help you out order everything instead of being off track and you have to figure out everything. Another thing will help out is try downloading some type of planner app on your phone that can help you write out everything on your phone and keep alerts on your phone, since everyone has a phone nowadays. Technology will help you. Another thing is knowing your schedule. If you have work at a certain time, try doing your homework the time before that. If you have some type of plans with your friends, try doing something that is way more important to you before you go hang out with your friends, because you know you're going to spend way more time with your friends. Or if you're going to set some type of time with your friends, make time to do whatever it is after that point. But know your priorities and know what's high for you and what's low for you. We're here with Julie Simon from Wells Fargo, and she's going to explain to you guys about credit cards and how to manage your credit cards. So, how do you feel people should manage your credit card? What's the best way to manage your credit card?
So that just depends on where you are in life, where you are with your finances. People that are just starting off with credit, that are wanting to build credit, a lot of times they get like a secured card. And the advice I give everybody that's just trying to build their credit with a credit card, make pretend that's your gas card. Make pretend that that's your paying my cell phone bill card. Meaning that's money you're going to spend every month anyway. So make those purchases that you're going to make anyway, that you have to make. When you get your credit card bill at the end of the month, pay it off in full. That way you're establishing credit and you're not paying any interest doing it, and you're not spending any extra money doing it as well. Somebody that's a little bit more established with credit, a great practice that some people use is they pay all their bills with their credit cards. Why? Because they want the rewards, they want the miles, they want the cash back, but they have a much better understanding, because they've been doing it for a while, how everything is going to work. So when talking credit and how to use credit, you got to first establish where you are with your credit and go from there.
From my perspective, I own a couple of credit cards with a couple balance in it. What would be your advice for me as far as getting those debt paid off? would you advise me to consolidate and make it into one card for the one card, so to make one payment? Or how do you advise me in that sense?
If it's getting to be a little much, having all those different accounts, then yes, consolidate. But I would maybe wait until one of those credit cards. So credit card companies, financial institutions, banks, they're going to have offers all the time. So in the next couple months, you might get something in the mail from one of your credit cards saying, hey, you know what, balance transfer special. You know, we're having a 2.5% APR balance transfer special. Then you go ahead and that credit card that you're paying 24% APR on, you do a balance transfer, and then you pay it on the other card with 2.5%.
Another question for you, as it relates to car loans. For example, if I have a car loan that's I'm paying a little higher, would you recommend me refinancing the loan?
I do.
And what would be the process of me going about refinancing that loan? And that doesn't make sense to yourself.
It does make sense. And you gotta remember, sometimes when you say refinance, you're saying, well, wow, am I gonna pay for another 6 years? No, you don't have to, because what you're refinancing isn't the total amount of the car, it's what you owe on your existing loan. So anytime you can get an interest rate significantly lower, chances are it's gonna be worth it to refinance.
You have any more questions for her?
Listen.
As far as mortgage goes, do you recommend shopping around if you're in the market to buy a house? Do you recommend shopping around as far as to see where to get the best loan, and how would you be qualified? What would qualify you to get a mortgage to purchase a home as a new home buyer?
So there's three things that are really kind of the basis when you talk mortgage, right? You're going to have, obviously, credit score. It doesn't need to be an 800 for you to qualify for a mortgage. A 640 will do it. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think you have to have an extremely high credit score to finance a house. You don't. They want to see proof of income, right? So the bank wants to see that you can actually, if I give you this loan, you can actually pay it back. And the bank wants to see some savings. Now, there is a lot of programs out there. USDA will tell you, no, you don't have to put any money down. Some people even qualify for grants, like the government gives them, example, $7,500 for their closing on the house. So there's a lot of different programs out there, but the bank does want to see some savings. And that's it. I mean,
I'm here interviewing the assistant manager in TD Bank to ask questions about credit and credit cards. And for the first question is, what is the best way to handle or manage your credit?
Well, the best way to manage your credit is first of all, you need to know your spending limit. Of course, I would recommend the best way to manage your credit is spend no more than 30% of what your credit limit is. In other words, if your credit limit is $300, our suggestion is for you to spend about $30 on a monthly basis, and of course try to pay it off within 30 days so you don't accumulate interest.
All right. And for me to look for a credit card or to get a credit card for a lot of these things for purchase, what would be the best choice to get in a credit card?
Well, there are thousands of credit cards out there and thousands of companies that offer credit cards. It's all based on what all your preferences are. So, for example, if you're someone that like to get points or reward, they have different type of credit card. Me personally, I like to get reward, whether it's flight or cash. It's all based on preferences.
Okay, so with credit, does that also pertains to what kind of credit card you get, or does credit doesn't matter into getting credit cards?
Your credit score determines what type of credit card you'll be qualified for.
Okay.
Of course, every company or every credit card have a credit score requirement that you have to meet in order for you to be able to get that credit card. And also the limit of the credit card also determined on your credit score, and also, of course, your income. Of course, the bank is not going to give you a credit card for $1 million when in reality you only make 20,000, or your credit score is less than 600, for example. You got to look at the liability aspect of it as well.
All right, and this will be the final thing I'm going to ask you. Do you have any advice for anybody out in the world about this whole subject and this interview?
My advice, as most kids been through it, don't spend more than you make, or I should say, you need to have a budget. You need to know how to budget. I see a lot of the issues that we currently have with our youth is that they're not able to budget. Budgeting is very important, to be successful as far as the finance goes. If you don't know how to budget, then of course, your paycheck will come. All of a sudden, you're going to be going towards paying bills, when in reality, you should be paying yourself, because you are the number one bill. In my view, you should be paying yourself prior to paying anything else.
We're going to talk about diversity in the military and how, if it affects her at all, as far as she being a Jamaican to begin with, and being in the military, how she feels about it.
Okay, that's a question.
Yeah, so how diverse is the Army?
The Army is very diverse. Right now, all of us standing here, I'm looking across over there. There's a Hispanic. Where are you from?
I'm from
You're from here?
but my parents are Haitian.
Haitian,
Yeah.
and he's Jamaican. I'm Jamaican. He's American. I'm just going to say that the cameraman is American. It is very diverse. We have people from all over the world. My MOS, which is my job in the Army, I deal with money. I'm a financial management technician. I never saw anything but diversity. We had, in my job, people from all over. Burmese. Have you ever heard of a country called Burmese?
No.
Exactly. I never, until I met him. Korean. We had Chinese. We had Japanese. American. We had one American. That's to show you how diverse it was. It was a group of 13 of us in one unit, and there was only one American. So right there, it just goes to show how diverse the military is, and it never affected me in a way to say it was anything noticeable. It just seemed as if we're just people.
So since you're around all these different types of culture and all these people, do you interact with different people in a different way, or do you interact with everyone all like equally?
Yeah, everybody's equal. We put on the uniform. There's no, you're a female, I'm a male. We're all soldiers. We're all Americans. So, and then it's cultural awareness. So I would not go and say something, what's that term that they normally use? Something offensive to someone who's like Japanese or Chinese, saying something about their eyes. You wouldn't do that, because now you have to be culturally aware. And that's what the Army does.
Joe of Boys and Girls Club, and I'm going to ask him 2 questions about diversity and what he thinks about it. Mr. Joe, how do you feel about diversity?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Diversity is a great thing, because you learn, it's good to be around different cultures and stuff like that, because you learn different values and you learn how they go about things, and after all that, you can become a better person.
Okay. Second question is, do you think we need to be more diverse in order to understand others?
Yes and no. Well, yes, because if we're more diverse, we know more about different cultures, and then we can understand them better.
Here we have a couple of our fellow classmates here, and we're going to ask them about how they feel about diversity in their college and also in their community. So, guys, would you elaborate for us? Tell us how you feel about diversity. Do you want to start?
Like for instance, college and whatnot, it's very diverse. You meet a lot of people, a lot of different people like me. I've never really known a whole lot of Asian people up until this semester. Now I know a lot. It's very important to me.
Does it affect you?
Does it affect me? No.
Do you feel a sense of community being around different diversity of people?
Definitely like a big diverse community here. Like you get to learn and interact with a whole lot of different people. normally you wouldn't. So it helps you learn a lot more, and it puts away different biases.
Do you hang out with all those people? What kind of group of people you hang out with?
My group is very
Person, how do you feel about diversity? Does it affect your perspective? How do you see yourself being
yes,
a diverse culture?
I do believe it affects your perspective. I think it's actually key because, like, I hang out with Arnolfo, and I get an intake on how he lives his life. We're not going to live the same life, just hence the fact that he's a different color skin. That's just how it is. He's Latino, I'm Haitian, two different races, and I did get to look at a Latino perspective and be like, okay, this is how they live their life, and then he looks at a Haitian perspective based on how I come about things when we conversate. So I think it's key. It just makes you look at life differently.